Hi there, welcome to my channel and welcome to part 11 of my Takeover Tuesday series. In last week's episode, Madeline became a young adult after finishing university and she got invited to go on the 7 Wild Dates challenge event. And for the first time ever in my own gameplay experience, I accepted it. She went on her first wild date with Diego Lobo because they were good friends, so that was a safe bet, and she successfully completed that. During that date, she got the wealthy weirdo phone call, and it was Judith Ward. So we met up with Judith Ward, and she gave us some gifts. And Madeline has just returned home from all of that, and Manuel is waiting outside of her house, which is convenient because he can just be the next date, and we can rattle out the second of the 7 wild dates straight away. So something that I have noticed, I thought that I had 7 days to do the 7 wild dates, but it doesn't quite work like that. She gets the moodlet, and then as soon as she completes a successful date, the counter resets. If the moodlet starts and it's sitting at 24 hours to go and she goes on a date straight away, she doesn't then get the rest of that day plus another 24 hours. It's just 24 hours from the last date. So technically you could do all the 7 dates in one day and the timer could still almost run out on you. So I'm not going to waste too much time here, which is why I'm having her flirt with Manuel at the moment. I'm just going to take him out on a date and that will check off the second of the 7 wild dates. And as I'm flirting, it's asking me again if Madeline's a love bug, and I am just going to say yes, because it's going to make the rest of this, I was going to say this week, it's going to make the rest of these 7 wild dates easier, because I'm probably going to get them done in a lot less than a week, or I'm going to have to, because the clock does reset pretty quickly after the date. Madeline went to the toilet, and Manuel has started running in the direction of Maisie, I think. So I hope Maisie isn't offering cake at the moment. I just had a horrible feeling that he was going to go and eat a piece of cake. I don't think another sim that I'm not controlling would die the first time they eat a piece of cake. I still think that they have to eat it twice to die. But I did recently feed Maisie, so he should be safe. Madeline's just autonomously helped herself to food, which is about to go to waste because I've asked her to ask Manuel out on a date now before I lose any more time. Okay, cool, and there they go. Okay, Madeline is absolutely knackered. They completed that date successfully, but she is now really tired. So we will move on to our third date. And for the third date, I've asked out Rory, because we have good friendship with Rory, and Rory has turned up very riled up and ready to turn into a wolf, and it's not even a full moon. So I'm hoping I can still have a successful date with her, because I know when you're playing as a wolf and they're in that state, when they've got that fury going on, you can't actually get them to interact and flirt with another sim. But she's having a wee dance with me, and I'm just doing this. This is a little bit of a cheat. If you don't have, or if you've just newly got the Love Struck expansion pack, if you do this dance with them, it is a really easy way to help grow a bit of romantic relationship, especially near the beginning of a relationship, because flirting may or may not work depending on what their romance style is, but doing that dance always works to give you a bit of romance bar with them. So I'm going to let them do that just now for a little bit. And I'm a bit confused because I see Captain Whittaker is standing next to us and he's alive, and I've had this in a few of my game files lately where randomly I'll start a new save file and Captain Whittaker is alive. And I'm saying that because with the Cats and Dogs pack, Captain Whittaker is the ghost dog that's an adult ghost dog. And he's like one of the mascots of the pack. There's him and there's Mayor Whiskers, who is a cat that is alive, but Captain Whittaker's a ghost. And there's lots of lore in the paintings and the furnitures about how he died saving his owner. But yeah, sometimes when I start the game, he's randomly alive. My phone is going off. It's Otter Jackson. So I met Otter Jackson at my graduation, and he's saying his date with Don Lothario went well. He asked me if he should go on a date with Don Lothario, and I just said yes. He's someone I potentially was going to go on one of the 7 wild dates with. Most of the characters in the game are usually bisexual, but sometimes they're not. So he might not be bisexual and I might not be able to go on a date with him if he's going after Don Lothario, but we'll see. Hopefully he is and we can have him as one of our other date options. Also, just based on his personality and his appearance and everything, he's potentially someone I was thinking of Madeline having her ear with a little further into the playthrough. It's a little bit early for her to be conceiving an heir at this point in the game, but if I'm honest, in the back of my mind I've kind of already decided that she'll have her heir either with Rory here or with Otter Jackson. And with some of the conversation options that I get with Otter, I'm starting to suspect that he might be a werewolf as well. So our next generation may or may not be a werewolf. It just depends how things go, I guess. We'll see how things go this week. I was trying to get Rory to woohoo with me, but she won't. I think it's because she's in her semi-transformed state. And Manuel has just turned up behind us as we're in the middle of our date, which is a bit awkward. Okay, he's going away. Good. Good. I didn't want him getting involved. I didn't say I wanted to have a relationship with him at the end of my date with him, so hopefully he stays away. Okay, everyone, including Madeline, is starting to get nervous about Rory because of how wolfed up she is, but the date's nearly finished. I think I might just end it now, just before things get too awkward. And that's another date complete, so that means I've now got 24 hours to find and complete another date. I've just come home from my date with Rory, and Manuel is outside my house randomly. So I'll call him over. As you can see there, I had the option to ask him to be my romantic partner. I have not asked him to be my romantic partner because I didn't want anyone getting jealous or causing issues while I did the rest of these 7 wild dates. Since Manuel's here, I'm just gonna have Madeline flirt with him and woohoo with him and do a few other things just to get her romance skill up a bit. She might as well practice it a bit more. I'm not sure still if it has to be 7 different people for the dates. I don't actually think it does, but I'd like to try and go out with a few different people, and I definitely do want to go on a date with Otter Jackson, so I'm going to try and line up a date with him next. I've still got quite a bit of time. I've got 20 hours till this current moodlet runs out, so I've got time to find someone else and line up another date. It's rebate day, so I've just gone in and bought an ornament for the garden, just so that Madeline could get the happy moodlet from getting the rebate on it. And while I was in there, I changed a couple of small things, just like in the spare bedroom, the colour of the desk and the chair, and a couple of other things that were off, just to finalise the look of the house, because my plan is also to build the next house along and move Madeline from this one into the next one and start work on that one. And Manuel is still standing outside after all of that. And he almost got struck by lightning, and he's still not moving. Okay, I've just asked him to come and cuddle in bed with me so that I can get to sleep. Madeline's needing to sleep, and if I go to sleep with him just standing on the doorstep, I'm not going to be able to ultra speed through the night because the time's going to slow down because there's someone on my lot. So at least if I take him in and get them to sleep, he'll fall asleep as well, and then I can zip through the night rather than waiting for him to just go away. Very conveniently for me, when I woke up in the morning, Manuel just got up and left without saying anything, so that was fine. That made things a little bit easier. But obviously, because we've now slept overnight, we've used up quite a bit of our time, so I'm going to have to line up another date as soon as possible. So I'm just having Madeline do her morning chores, like go around her garden, and she'll have to feed Maisie because I see Maisie's offering cake again. And then we will contact Otter and ask him out on a date. I was just having a look, and I'm just thinking Madeline also has a good relationship with Kyle Kyleson, so I think I'll ask him out for a date as well. That's one more person we can go on a date with that it should be reasonably successful because we have quite a good relationship with him, and then I'll go for Otter after that. And Madeline's a bit tired at the start of this date, but she's just going to have to power through it because we're going to run out of time for completing this date if she doesn't. And Judith Ward has just turned up, and she's wanting me to do a romantic dance with her in the middle of my date with Kyle Kyleson, which I don't really want to do. Okay, now she's saying she doesn't want to speak to me. Okay, good, because she's saying that she's angry at me, she doesn't want to speak to me, but it's increasing our romance with each other. I don't even want to have a romantic relationship with her. We only have a bit of romance going on because I met her as the wealthy weirdo. I didn't want to go on a date with her because I thought she'd be too difficult. Although she might end up being one of our dates at this rate. But right now I'm here with Kyle, so you need to go away, Judith, and leave me alone with Kyle. Judith is literally still just standing there like a third wheel this entire time. Just absolutely, totally socially clueless. And my moodlet is starting to fade, so I'm going to end the date early. So that I can, because I've already got the top score on it, so I'm going to end the date before that time runs out, just so I can reset the clock. And there we go, successful date, and that's reset it. That's 4 out of 7 complete, so we've got 3 more to do. One of them will definitely be Otter Jackson, and then for the next 2, I might just repeat somebody I've already been on a date with. I'll see, unless I meet someone else that's interesting enough to go on a date with. So conveniently, Otter Jackson is calling me and inviting me to go and meet him. So I'll go and meet up with him, and then while I'm out there with him, I'll just immediately ask him on a date, and that'll take me into date number 5. Although before I ask him on a date, I need to check what his romantic interests are, because if he's not romantically interested in female Sims, it's going to be a waste of time trying to get him to go on a date with Madeline. So I'll chat to him for a little bit, and if he is up for it, I'll ask him on a date. I think he is actually into Madeline. I've just tried flirting with him there, and he's flirting back, and we're getting a bit of relationship going, and it's working because I can see the romance bar starting to build. So perfect, I will ask him on a date, and I'm going to take him to Moonwood Mill. I've been speaking to him, I've had a lot of conversation options with him that are werewolf related, so I think he might be a werewolf, so we're going to go there and just see what happens. So we sat down at this picnic bench to skywatch, and Ted and Meredith Roswell are sitting directly across from us to also skywatch. And I know that everyone has been saying it's quite annoying that the Love Struck pack, when you get the Love Struck pack everywhere you go, when there's a bench, the couples sit and skywatch. I don't really mind it, but it's a bit weird that they do it across a picnic bench from another couple that's already sitting there. It's a bit awkward. So the date seems to be going quite well, and we're getting the option of a steamy dynamic. I've had that for a couple of the dates that I've been on, and I've just said yes, because it helps build the romance faster and it helps us do things quicker. And I think I've made a mistake here because I got the option to woohoo in bush and I said yes. And if I remember right from having played in Moonwood Mill before, it's Greg's bush, which is on another part of the map, and it's going to take them a while to get there. Yeah, it is Greg's bush they eventually went to, and the only reason I call it that, I'm pretty sure everyone else calls it Greg's bush as well. This bush is located just outside of Greg's lot, and I think it's pretty obvious why it's there. I think it's pretty obvious it was put there to give players the opportunity to woohoo with Greg. Although I have managed to woohoo in a house with Greg, because I've had Greg follow me to my house when I've lived in Moonwood Mill. But I think it's there for convenience for people who are just looking to have their, what is it people are calling them, their graybees or their gruppies, when they have babies with their puppies with Greg. And Madeline's immediately running away. She's not queued up any actions, I don't know where she's going, but she's immediately running away after that. And Otter is sitting down to do homework. He was at my graduation with me, so I don't understand why he's still at university, but apparently he's still at university, so okay, fair enough. And I'm not giving Mortimer a donation. When I'm trying to get a good reputation and I've got plenty of money, I usually say yes to that, but obviously for this particular playthrough, I need all the money to be able to build all the houses in Newcrest that I need to be able to build, so I'm not looking to just give money away for the sake of a reputation. Whether or not the character that I'm playing as has a good reputation isn't important for the sake of this playthrough, and Bess Sterling can also just go away. I'm not giving her any money either. And while I was on my date with Rory, I befriended the werewolves. I still can't go into their hideout though, you've got to actually be a werewolf to go through that door. I couldn't remember. I thought maybe if you befriended the pack you could go in there, because as you can see Madeline's a bit smelly. I could have gone in there and used their facilities. As it is, I'm just going to have to get her to go to the public toilet on this lot and wash her hands a few times or brush her teeth and see if that helps her out. We've already got the top score on the date. That's Brittany Cho going in the toilet. Okay, she's not actually using the toilet though, so I could still go in and use the sink. Okay, Madeline's feeling a bit better about herself, and Otter's finally caught his back up. Oh, I didn't notice that the moodlet was running out, and I've run out of time. I should have ended the date once I got a good score, because I've run out of time, and I've failed. At 5 out of 7 dates, I've failed. So according to that note in the top there, so yeah, no money for you. So the prize was money if I had completed it. So I don't know, I'll look up and see exactly how much you get, and I'll put a note on the screen here. The reward for completing the 7 wild dates is a bit of a good news and a bad news situation. I lost out on 25,000 simoleons. I could have got the heart bed. You get free couples counselling for 4 weeks, which I wouldn't have made any use of, and instant 3-star fame level if you have Get Famous, which I do, and I do not want to have to deal with Madeline being famous, so I'm not upset that I missed out on the fame. I wouldn't have used the couples counselling, but it might have been nice to have the heart bed, and it definitely would have been nice to have that 25,000 simoleons. It's a little bit unfortunate because I would have liked the money. But I mean, it was fun. It was fun doing that. It was a fun little different thing to do this week. It's a bit unfortunate that we didn't get to complete it, but it was something different to do for a change of pace. And since that's happened and I'm now kind of finished with that, I guess, I'll finish this week's episode there for today. We'll pick up again next week. And one thing I will definitely do next week is build the next house and move Madeline into it. And then we'll just see what else happens along the way, I guess. Thanks for watching.